On December 7, 1958, a family of 5 from Portland, Oregon, set out on what should have been a joyous holiday tradition, collecting Christmas greenery. It was an annual outing, a cherished family ritual, but that day the family would vanish without a trace. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months, and soon the family's disappearance became one of the most baffling mysteries in Oregon's history. Clues would emerge, some tragic, others perplexing, but the full truth of what happened to them remains unknown. Was it an accident or something more sinister? This is the story of the missing Martin family. Hello, friends. My name is Marcia, and this is Midwest Murders. In December 1958, Portland, Oregon was experiencing a time of growth and change. The post-war economic boom had transformed the city, and suburban expansion was in full swing. Families were settling into quiet neighborhoods, much like the Martins' home in northeast Portland. The city was modernizing, with infrastructure projects reshaping its landscape, including the development of new highways and bridges to accommodate increasing automobile traffic. Portland had a reputation for being a relatively safe and family-friendly city, and violent crimes were still considered rare, especially those involving entire families. Against this backdrop, the disappearance of the Martin family stood out as an eerie and unsettling event. Families in the area were shaken by the mystery. How could an entire family simply vanish? The case overshadowed much of the usual holiday cheer in Portland that season and would remain in the public consciousness for decades. The Martins were a well-respected family. Kenneth Martin, age 54, was an electrical engineer, an avid outdoorsman, and a Boy Scout leader. He was known for his kindness. Each holiday season, he dressed as Santa to bring gifts to sick children. He was also a cautious driver, rarely exceeding 55 miles an hour and avoiding driving after dark. He took exceptional care with his car and shied away from driving it on poor, unimproved roads. Barbara Martin, 48, was active in her community and a devoted mother to their children. Susan Margaret, age 11, Virginia Ann, age 13, and Barbara Lee, Barbie, age 14. Their older son, Donald, who was 28, was serving in the U.S. Navy at Fort Schuyler Hospital near the Bronx. The family lived in a comfortable home at 1715 Northeast Avenue in Portland. On the afternoon of December 7, 1958, the family headed out to collect Christmas greenery with which to decorate their home for the upcoming Christmas holiday. This was an annual tradition, and the family looked forward to an afternoon together. The weather was mild, partly sunny with temperatures around 50 degrees. They had planned to be gone only for a short while, as evidenced by a load of laundry left in the washing machine. Their destination was likely the Mosier area, about 70 miles away, where they had gathered Christmas greens the year before. While the exact timing is unclear, the family stopped for gas at Dean Baxter's Standard Station near the Cascade Locks. Ken was driving their 1954 cream and red-trimmed Ford station wagon. They also stopped to eat at the Paradise Inn snack bar in Hood River sometime between 2 and 4:30 p.m. But then they vanished. At first, authorities suspected the Martins' car had plunged into the Columbia River. However, the river was relatively low at the time of their disappearance, and Ken was known to be meticulous about vehicle safety and seatbelt use, making the theory of an accident puzzling. As word of the family's disappearance spread, a chilling discovery was made. 2 children found a sleeping bag in the Columbia River with a cleaning tag from a company used by the Martins. It had a plastic cover with the name Ken Martin, but they had discarded it. A couple came forward to report that on the night of the disappearance, they were parked at the Cascade Locks. They saw a car drive under the railroad tracks leading to the old locks. Moments later, they heard a scream. They investigated, but found nothing. The Corps of Engineers lowered the river so divers with metal detectors could search the lock area. Volunteers on foot and helicopters searched the mountains around the area, including Mount Hood. No trace of the family was found. With conflicting jurisdictions, lack of money, and no real evidence, the official search for the family was called off after only 8 days. Saying that there was nothing he could do, Donald chose to stay in New York and not participate in the search for his family. Several weeks later, in late January or early February 1959, a witness reported to police that he saw tracks that indicated a car had driven off a steep cliff into the river near the Harvey aluminum plant at the Dalles. The deep pools under the cliff, some 47 miles from Cascade Locks, was searched. After finding the water swift, cold, and very deep, and determining it was too dangerous for dive teams, the search for the family was called off again. As before, no trace of the family was found. 3 months later, on May 2nd, a couple fishing at Cascade Locks saw two bodies floating down the river. The couple drove further downstream to the pilings of the Bridge of the Gods, where they saw the bodies separate, with one headed toward the dam and the other headed downstream. A little before noon the following day, the body of 11-year-old Susan Martin was spotted by tugboat operator Charles Eisman as he was operating the 65-foot tug R.W. Confer near Camus, Washington, a few miles upstream from Portland. He towed the body to shore and secured it before calling police. 2 days later, on May 4th, the body of 13-year-old Virginia was found in the debris lodged in the spillway at the Bonneville Dam, 22 miles upstream from Camus. As news of the discovery of the body spread, Eugene E. Demick, tugmaster for the 40-foot Paula Jean, came forward to say that he believed he had snagged a car with the anchor of a barge he was securing near the Harvey aluminum plant at the Dulles, near where the divers had attempted to search several months earlier. As he dropped the 2-ton anchor, he felt that it hit something and then rolled toward the center of the river. As he attempted to reposition the anchor, it appeared to let go of whatever the object was. Police theorized that the anchor had indeed snagged the Martin car, and the movement had dislodged the two younger girls. Autopsies determined the girls had died from drowning. They had eaten about 2 hours before death, and they had been somewhere very cold, as the bodies were well preserved. A memorial service for the family was held at the Rose City Park Methodist Church, attended by 400 people. The case left an enduring scar on the community, with theories ranging from a tragic accident to foul play. Susan and Virginia were laid to rest in the Rose City Cemetery. Donald went on to make a career in the Navy. He would later marry and have a family of his own. He passed away in 2004 at the age of 73. In 2025, a car matching the description of the Martin family's Ford was found upside down in mud and debris at the Cascade Locks. The car had been located by diver Archer Mayo, who had spent 7 years searching for the wreckage. He was able to get a video of the license plate, leading police to report that they were 99% sure this was the Martins' car. On March 7, 2025, the chassis of the car was pulled from the river. Jeff Gianola, a reporter for KOIN News 6 out of Portland, has been following this case for the past 30 years. His report, as well as the latest on this case, can be found on their website, which I have linked below. With the Martins' car being found at Cascade Locks, it's highly unlikely that the car snagged by the barge anchor is the same vehicle. The Country Squire station wagon which the Martin family was driving had an approximate empty curb weight of 3,600 pounds, making it improbable that it would have been moved by the current nearly 40 miles from the Dulles to the Cascade Locks. The most likely scenario is that it went into the water near where it was found. More than 6 decades later, the case of the missing Martin family remains one of Oregon's greatest unsolved mysteries. Was it an accident? Did they fall victim to something darker? What truly happened on that mild December Sunday in 1959? Hopefully, the recovery of their car will start to answer some of those questions. If you have any thoughts or theories concerning this case, please leave them in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and may the truth reveal itself in the shadows.